Welcome to Sunnyside Sue Me Up, Get Energized, Stay Sunny with Sue. This is episode 2, entitled, I Asked for Gluten-Free, Not Taste-Free. These quick and easy, mouth-watering, gluten-free foodie ideas will change your life. Or, who knew there was such a thing as tasty, gluten-free food? Are you sick and tired of tasting gluten-free food that you are forced to suffer through due to your celiac disease or your choice to go gluten-free? Do you wish you had some easy go-to gluten-free hacks, foods, quick and easy recipes that you could rely on to actually excite your stomach in a good way? I know we have all experienced the pathetic excuses for gluten-free food that make eating sawdust look great. We've also likely all heard that this gluten-free stuff is really great. But what if it actually was? Don't miss these crazy and creative gluten-free foodie ideas that I will be sharing with you. Stick around to the very end when I will share some new ideas for you for quick and easy gluten-free healthy hacks for appetizers. And now let's jump in.
Known locally as the Energizer Bunny, and in her 35 years in education as Super Broccoli, Sunnyside Sue will inspire you to live your best life. This Sunnyside Sue Me Up podcast will help you increase energy, release weight, and decrease pain and inflammation in the body. With a focus on tasty ways to eat gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free, Sunnyside Sue will give you quick and easy practical tips and life hacks for a thriving mind, body, and soul. With over 50 years experience creating healthy food for family and friends, Sunnyside Sue actively coaches, teaches, and models healthy life choices to all ages. Her expert advice and uplifting energy will help you achieve your goals. Welcome to Sunnyside Sue Me Up. Get energized, stay sunny with Sue.
And now I'd like to talk about a couple of ideas that are terrific for gluten-free but not taste-free dining. First of all, I know that for pasta fakes, a lot of people just use gluten-free pasta, which for me doesn't really work because there are a lot of starches and other additives in gluten-free pasta that for me makes the taste less than desirable. So I love to be able to use vegetables to create my pasta fakes. So the first vegetable that I know we're all familiar with is the spaghetti squash. But I have a way to do the spaghetti squash that makes it much more like real pasta. In the past, there was a way that I used to do this, and it was creating noodles that were too moist for me. This way that I'm going to tell you enables the noodles to be drier and much more like spaghetti. What I do is I take the spaghetti squash, I cut it in half, I scoop out the seeds, and then I create slices, rings of the spaghetti squash. I put salt on both sides, and then I lay the rings on a rack over a rimmed baking sheet for about 15 to 20 minutes. After 15 to 20 minutes, the moisture has been drawn out, and I take a paper towel and I make sure that I dry both sides of the rings before putting them into a 400-degree Fahrenheit oven for half an hour. After half an hour, the rings come out and they are ready. One uses a fork to create the spaghetti noodles, and it really does create a fabulous noodle. I use these noodles in my paleo pad thai recipe, and after I create the recipe, I have frozen it in the past, and it freezes really well and it thaws really well for a meal that is ready to use. So I have found that to be outstanding. I have also used this type of spaghetti squash preparation with the baking of the rings that I described to do stir-fried shrimp with it, and there are many other ideas that you could do to have that pasta feel and texture, but avoiding gluten and avoiding that less than wonderful gluten-free pasta. So that's the first idea, the spaghetti squash. The next idea is the zucchini. And I know many of us are very familiar with zucchini and spiralizing it, but some of you may not be. This is a little spiralizer that has a thick noodle side and a thin noodle side. And I take the zucchini spiralizer with me, strangely, on our travels around the world. So in the winter, we go to a different place in the world. And this always comes with me because when we stay in our Airbnbs, this helps me create the kind of meals that I can have that are gluten-free. And zucchini is pretty easy to find in lots of places in the world, so I find it very helpful. And all you do is you simply spiralize the zucchini, and you can see that the noodles created are very similar to the thickness of probably a linguine noodle. And what I find with this is very helpful. I use these when I do stir fries with, for example, mint pesto and lamb meatballs. It just is outstanding. So this takes a sauce really well, also freezes really well. The other thing that I do with these noodles is I use them when I make a Mediterranean pasta salad. I know that many of us make a pasta salad. Obviously, for gluten-eating individuals, they do regular pasta. Some people do gluten-free pasta. But as I've mentioned, I find it is less than desirable because of the starches and other additives added in. So I find that my Mediterranean pasta salad works really well with these kind of noodles. And I will share that recipe on my sunnysidesue.ca website. So check it out. Thanks so much. Discover the yumminess of Sunnyside Sue's gluten-free foods for yourself. Energize your body one blissful bite at a time by saying no to sawdust-tasting gluten-free food while saying yes to Sunnyside Sue's healthy treats. To help you get started, I have a special offer for Canadians of 50% off my products. Go to my website, sunnysidesue.ca, for all the details. Don't miss out on this chance to fall in love with these mouth-watering, gluten-free treats. Your body will thank you. For those of you farther afield, check out my website, sunnysidesue.ca, for yummy and healthy gluten-free recipes. And now it's time for Sunnyside Sue's short, sweet, and sassy soupçon. A soupçon means just a little bit. Today, a few quick and easy tips that are crazy and creative foodie ideas for gluten-free appetizer entertaining. The first tip is to use sweet potato toasts. Sweet potato toasts are a sweet potato that has been sliced to about 1/4 of an inch thick and baked in the oven to make a platform for appetizers. Details for this recipe are available on my website, sunnysidesue.ca. So that's sweet potato toasts. They can keep for quite a while in the fridge and can be used for main courses as well. But if you cut them into small little circular or flower shapes, they make really good little appetizer platforms for other kinds of spreads that you can put on there. The second idea is a little bit crazy and creative. It's called cauliflower bagel thins. And I know it sounds very bizarre to think about using a vegetable to create a bagel thin, but when you drain the cauliflower and mix it with some egg and salt and pepper and bake it, it actually turns out quite well, and it really does appear like a bagel thin. You can actually toast it, it can freeze well, and once again, details are on my Sunnyside Sue website, so you can see exactly the steps involved to create cauliflower bagel thins. And the final idea seems obvious, but I haven't seen it done too much, but I have found great success with it using a cucumber slice or a daikon radish slice, if you're familiar with that, as a base for appetizers. The one with the cucumber slice I love to do is called fake sushi, and it involves a cucumber slice with a little bit of smoked salmon, a little bit of wasabi mayo, and I use the wasabi powder with avocado mayo so I can keep it dairy-free. Then I sprinkle a little bit of green onions on it and a few sesame seeds, and it creates just a very lovely self-contained appetizer that can look terrific on a charcuterie board of appetizers and really is a great entertaining piece. Very healthy, gluten-free, and even people who don't have to eat gluten-free just love it. So the details of all that, once again, on the sunnysidesue.ca website. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Sunnyside Sue Me Up. Get energized, stay sunny with Sue. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Gluten-Free, Not Taste-Free. I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much for tuning in.